We have a really full house tonight. This is episode 64 of Small Businesses Do It Better with Roger Sullivan of Wired Waffles, as everybody knows from Shark Tank. We also have some friends in our house, courtesy of another Shark Tank friend, Shelly. They're of Show No Towels. They're going to be creeping up. And this is from allblownup.com. We got Han and Ellen with us. So stay tuned and we'll have a fun night tonight. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Again, this is episode 64 of Small Businesses Do It Better, and we're going to talk with Roger here in just a minute. I want to first tell you about our sponsors, which is Overlay TV. Overlay.tv hosts and produces live video events for your upcoming promotion, interview, conference, or whatever you want to market. Visit Overlay.tv to request a free 30-minute consultation to find out more about going live with your brand. And by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp. Small Businesses Do It Better is working with Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp to make sure small businesses know about their business credit file. Credit Signal is the first and only product on the market to provide companies with free access to changes in their credit scores and ratings. Get more info and your free credit report at smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com/credit. So thank you to our sponsors. We're going to just jump right in and talk with Roger because this is going to be really fun. So those of you in the live chat, if you have a question for Roger, feel free to let us know because I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. For those of you who may not know who you are or what is going on with you, tell us who you are, what you do, a little bit behind your brand because you've been in the caffeine-related business industry for quite some time.
I have. So I'm Roger Sullivan from the creator of Wired Waffles. It was a snack that we created. I guess we started on this journey about 2 years ago, actually, as a result of about 14 years in the specialty coffee industry. My wife and I have been in and around coffee in Washington State for quite a while. So that's kind of, caffeine's just kind of in our blood. And I create things, and so that's kind of, it's just kind of the culmination of who we are and our experiences.
And Wired Waffles, let's see, what camera are we on? Delicious caffeinated waffles. And we're gonna be talking a little bit more about these because were you just replayed? Your episode was just re-aired?
Yeah, about a month ago. About a month ago, it was re-aired, so it was our second airing since October.
And every time something comes up in the news, there's a lot of questions. The thing that comes to mind, first of all, that I know is not true, that I'll just say, is Roger said his kids like to eat the waffles. How old are your kids, though? They're not kids.
Oh, that was the very next question, because that'd be a logical question to ask, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, on the bottom of the editing room floor, of course, they asked how old my kids were, and well, they all just had birthdays, but my oldest is 23. Then I have a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 16-year-old, and they're all boys.
So they're not kids.
No, they're not. They're not 4-year-olds.
So, and I want to say hello to Roger's wife, Amy, and it is her birthday today.
Happy birthday, babe.
So I met with Roger and Amy the day after they aired the first time. So there's a picture of Roger and Amy. So happy birthday.
She's way better looking than I am.
That's funny. I remember one time Roger tuned in. He was in the live chat on one of the shows, and I literally was dying behind the camera because he actually typed out Bazinga, and I about lost it. It was hilarious.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so since we talked about your kids, I want to ask you, how has you running a business from your home or with them involved, how has it affected their lives? Do they want to be an entrepreneur, or do they want to follow in your footsteps?
Oh, wow. It's been, as you can imagine, I mean, it's been there have been some ups and downs. Right before we created the Wired Waffle, we had a wholesale delivery business called the Espresso Shopper, where we had a big truck and we drove around to specialty coffee stands and espresso stands and delivered cups and lids and straws and stuff like that. And we our kids were kind of slaves. Actually, I'm really sorry, boys. I really love you. But it got really bad towards the end of the business. We basically, when we shut the business down, we took a break. We told the kids, like, okay, we're done. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to start a business. We're putting our whole entrepreneurial thing on the shelf for a year, we promise. And well, that lasted about 9 months. But it's been challenging. Now we've got our kids are very because they've seen us have a little bit of success, and a couple of them are very interested in what we do.
Getting the bug. Yeah. Shelly in the chat room said there are slave labor rules, and friends work for alcohol. Speaking of alcohol.
Oh, geez.
Let's just talk about this right now, because we're talking about starting businesses. So we have a lot of Shark Tank stuff to talk about and caffeinated things. But let's talk about your new business, which it's not quite on market yet. Is that right?
No, not yet. We actually just received our final approval from the TTB, and I can never remember what it stands for because it doesn't really make sense. You know, most abbreviations make sense,
Something
but
Bureau.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's the Tobacco and Trade Bureau, alcohol. I don't know, but we finally just received our final approval for our apple pie moonshine.
Amazing. So check this out.
That's going to be coming out. Yeah.
Eve's Apple Pie Washington Moonshine. Nice ass on the label there.
Yeah.
And amazing. So tell us a little bit about. It's 33%. So those of you who want some alcohol, that's not a small ratio there.
It's 66 proof, so it's about the same as a lot of the. There's some specialty liqueurs out there. Most popular one is Fireball. You know, everybody knows about Fireball, the cinnamon whiskey.
It reminds me of the toothpaste. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember playing this game as when I was involved with a youth group called Atomic Fire Bunny. You ever played Chubby Bunny, where you stuff as many marshmallows in your mouth as you can? Try playing that with like the Atomic Fireball Jawbreakers.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's crazy. My brother's thing, who's slightly past 21, which I'm sure you're familiar with your kids, he puts Skittles in vodka in different bottles.
Oh yeah, that's really popular.
So he flavors.
Yeah, it's really popular.
That's a little weird to me. Why don't you just buy what they have all sorts now, anything. But
yeah,
Eve's Apple Pie is what we're here to talk about today. So we got everything covered: caffeine, alcohol.
Yeah,
we got everything here.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have
money
a question,
off the vices of America.
If you have a question. Oh, Shelly just threw in, put Jolly Ranchers in there as well. Let us know if you have a question, because we have it up, and take the advantage of Roger being here to ask him your questions. Shelly wants us to do shots. We do have shot glasses here, by the way.
I'm down. If we're going to do this, let's do it.
Go for it.
All right.
It's iTunes, right? We're not like rating something here.
Shelly's going to be really jealous. Oh, glug, 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 glug,
We're
glug.
pouring.
Yes.
And this is real. This isn't apple juice.
No, it's not. No.
So.
You gotta smell it first. It's so delicious.
Shot. It is. It's like the
inside of an apple pie.
It is. It's
Cheers.
Good. Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it great owning your own business?
That's really good. That's like drinking an apple pie. Wow.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah.
When will this be available?
Well, like I said, we just got our final approval on Friday, so I'm going to be ordering labels and glass over the next couple weeks. We'll go into production.
That's really good.
It'll probably be on the shelves in about 4 to 5 weeks.
Amazing. Will it be available any sooner in this area?
Well,
Since we live here?
Yeah, we are self-distributing to start out. When you deal with an alcohol distributor in the state of Washington, they represent hundreds and hundreds of brands. So we feel like until we want to get as much traction as we can ourselves before we have to turn it over to a distributor. So we'll be going into all the liquor stores and the bars and Safeways and talking to Costco and all that stuff.
All right. So with food products and alcohol, what kind of like tips do you have to those who are wanting to sell some sort of food? Because it's a whole different route than like shoes.
Don't do it. No, I say that it's there are a couple of my foodie entrepreneurs that will appreciate the comments that I didn't. Slasa, she does a phenomenal job, by the way.
Yes,
I wish I had her knowledge, but it's very difficult actually to get to launch a food product and get it in, because there just so many of them out there. So getting the right buyer's ear and getting their attention and explaining to them what it is, and so we have that, plus the fact that we're kind of created our own category, right? I mean, people aren't used to eating caffeine. They're used to getting it in their coffee or their their energy drink or something. So there's a lot of education that's going along with us behind the curve already.
Well, you said somewhere, I don't know if it was on Shark Tank or elsewhere, but stores didn't know where to put the waffles, if they were at the check stands or on the breakfast aisle,
and that's
or in
another
the energy
thing.
aisle, or...
And that's another thing that I've learned as a food manufacturer is, well, that's my responsibility to tell them where to put it. I didn't know. I thought somebody owns a grocery store and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to put you here and we're going to do this. No, they just kind of look at you like, what do you want us to do with it? So we had to actually go into stores, do our own market research, take pictures, figure out where it's going to be marketed best, and actually tell the buyers, okay, it's going to do best here, this is where it needs to go. And once you do that, it's like, oh, okay, well, great, then let's get it in and let's do a test on it. But without knowing that, it's just kind of one of those things as an entrepreneur, you just learn as you go.
Okay, so I featured this a while ago. I want to bring it up again because this is the type of marketing that kind of sets you apart, is this guerrilla marketing. Roger threw out on Facebook, I think, or maybe Instagram, when the world was ending, according to the Mayan calendar.
Ah, yes, December 21st, 2012.
So Roger threw up this image on social media with his, as you can see, it looks like just a weather forecast with, I guess it's supposed to be meteors, but it does look like meatballs.
It does look like meatballs, yes.
But he threw up his branding on the bottom, as seen on Shark Tank also, so it really looks like an ad, and it's really well incorporated together. But how many shares and how many people actually saw that? Because this is insane.
Yeah, it took off really quickly, and we started seeing the image all over the place. But what I could actually track, where I started to see that it really took off, was Julian Lennon, John Lennon's son. He's got a Facebook page, and he actually captured the image and he shared it without cutting off the bottom of it.
Wow.
like most people did, cut off all my advertising, and he reshared it, and that image off of his page alone was shared over 25,000 times.
Wow. So 25,000 shares, that means, I don't know the ratio on Facebook, probably 4 times at least more likes than that, but that's insane. So that many people saw that. So brilliant.
Yeah. I see on there someone asked how effective was it for sales, and we definitely got a lot of traffic from it. We got a lot of notice, a lot of lookers. And that's kind of most of our web traffic is actually people just kind of looking, like, is this thing for real? Can I really order these? Are these real?
It's almost, when I saw, okay, so I didn't hear about you before you were on Shark Tank, even though Roger lives very close to us. So when I heard about this, for those of you who don't know, my blog is Caffeine Keyboard. I'm a caffeine junkie. And so when I heard about Wired Waffles, I was like, oh my God, this is the best product on the planet. Like, this guy is brilliant for thinking this up. Like, this is just genius. So I was super excited. I can't imagine I'm the only person like this. So a quick question from Ducks in a Row. Advice for people who want to start a new product, food or other?
Just do it. And that's, so many people, I think, wait until everything's perfect. It's like,
definitely.
I've got to do this, or I've got to get my formulation right, or do this. And I say just take a step. If you've got an idea, just take a step, because everything's going to change. This waffle has changed. We refer to this as waffle 4.0 because it's changed so much. But if I would have waited until I came up with this recipe, I'd still be waiting to get ready. So my biggest piece of advice to people is to just to step out and do it, and understand that things are going to change, and you're going to need to pivot. You're going to need to to react and change, and that's how we learn.
And what would you never do again?
What would I never do again? You know, I don't think that there's anything that I would never do again. I've had a lot of people ask me, you know, would you do Shark Tank again? And you know, Shark Tank was a great, it was a great experience. I mean, it was a big distraction. There was, you know, at a time that was really critical in our business, that I could have done a lot more at the time. But you know, I've got ADHD. You know, something shiny. You know, this.
What
whole,
did you say
this
on your
whole thing.
page? Otter.
Yeah. Our church puts things into different categories. So there's basically a couple different personalities, and I fall into the otter, which is kind of like if you've seen the movie Up with the dog with the thing on there. You know,
look,
he's talking. He's like squirrel. You know, that's me. I just, you know, I get fixated on something shiny, and I don't, you know, which is kind of one of the things, you know, with our whole Shark Tank
so funny
experience that was kind of to my detriment. I was just so enamored with everything going on that I didn't pay attention to what they were asking me to do with how we were presenting our product and stuff. So
okay, so Rob, I'm glad you asked this question. Rob, which is Hot Dog Man, who is SharkTankBlog.com. He wants us to tell us about the Ellen thing. So I have actually the video that Ellen made about Wired Waffles, so you guys can see it if you haven't seen it. So if we could play that really quick, because this is
awesome.
Awesome. Super awesome.
All right, who here watches Shark Tank? Do you like that show, Shark Tank? I love that show. I love that show. It's on tonight, and if you haven't seen it, it's where inventors pitch their products to investors. And a few weeks ago, they asked me to be a guest shark, and here's what happened.
Next into the tank is Roger Sullivan with an eye-opening new product.
My name is Roger Sullivan. My company is Wired Waffles. Basically, we've taken an energy drink and we put it into a waffle. Think about it. People walk into a convenience store and they grab an energy drink or a shot for their energy, but they still need a snack to satisfy their hunger. The Wired Waffle does both. And I brought some samples for you guys to try. Thank you, sir. There you go. So, who wants to shake on a deal and make some money?
How long have these last in my car?
It lasts for 30 days on the shelf.
How much caffeine is in this? Is this like drinking 5 cups of coffee?
It's about a 20-ounce premium cup of coffee, Ben.
So it's really like 4 or 5 cups of coffee.
It's about 3. It's about 3.
Like, really?
So if I ate 2 of these, what would happen?
I'll tell you what would happen is you'd be excited. Is what you'd be. You'd be so excited you could fly, right, Roger?
You'd just be excited.
Did you just have one bite?
That's a lot of caffeine, and it's a sweet. So kids are going to get their hands on it, and I think that's very problematic.
These are the best waffles I've ever had. I cannot believe the taste sensation that is happening right now. Not only in my mouth, but in my entire body. I feel like I can taste things like my feet are excited. Man, oh man, this is good.
I do think it's a bit of a
I have a
liability.
question. I have a question.
I'm thinking about giving you the money because it gave us the energy.
Shut up! I have a question. How much are these? Like each waffle? How much is each waffle to buy? How much is it 10-pack or like a 20-pack? Or like 100? Like how much is 100 of them?
About $1,000.
I don't really know people who eat cold waffles.
I love cold waffles. Here's my offer. I'll give you $1 million for 200% of your company.
Whoa.
Right there, Texas.
Really?
How are you good? Man! I didn't get him to take my offer, but I did bench press Mark Cuban 8 times. Oh, that was fun. We'll be right back.
Oh my goodness, I have tears. That is so hilarious. Shelly loves Ellen, by the way, so...
I know, I was really afraid that she was going to come to my house and hunt me down after that. The very first thing I was like, oh, that's excited. Oh my gosh. Shelly's gonna hate me.
That is so funny. So did this just come up on a clip somewhere? You didn't know anything about it? It just happened. It was right after you re-aired though, right?
Yeah, it was funny because my mom had just come up to visit us, and we just picked her up at the airport, and we were going out to get lunch, and I got a text from a firefighter buddy of mine. He's like, "Hey, congratulations on getting on the Ellen show." And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, "Yeah, you're all over, the news, they've advertised you're going to be on Ellen at 4. And, to be honest with you, I was a little scared, because, the edit didn't turn out so good on Shark Tank. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, so I'm asking him, was it funny? I mean, was it positive? And my phone died.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. So it was horrible. So I was just like waiting, trying to find it out. But yeah, we had no idea.
So Ellen's here with us now.
Ellen is my new business partner. I've already put her to work. She hangs out with me in the office. She's filled some orders. I got some pictures for you, Shelly, coming to you with her going to work. I'm gonna take her on a couple sales calls too. Yeah, she's really quiet. Every time I put things to her on the phone, she just kind of clams up. I don't know what that's all about, but
just don't put her in a box with your shipment.
Yeah. Well, she was kind of in, she needed to be straightened out a little bit. I put her in the trunk on the way here. Straightened out
a little bit. Oh, that's terrible. Terribly funny. I'm still crying. Okay. Wired Waffles was the first product that I featured on the show because we switched it up a little bit and I started adding products. So since then, since your first airing, what has changed with Wired Waffles and what's the bigger picture? Because you have syrup also. We don't want to leave out the syrup.
Right.
Anything with caffeine.
Yes.
Wired Wyatt's maple syrup.
Sugar and caffeine. Yes. Since the show, we had some really good momentum going into the show, and I talk about it being a distraction because we had some good momentum, and I really left a lot of that to my business partner, our sales director, Richard, to kind of take on that stuff. But he got caught up in what I was doing with that too. And so all this momentum that we had, these little base hits, of the convenience stores and stuff, just kind of stopped because we're like, all right, we're going to be on Shark Tank. We're going to have these big box stores going to be knocking down our doors and stuff. And then the edit came out and we're like, ooh, this isn't good. And so
it wasn't bad though. I've seen a lot worse, honestly.
Yeah.
But now you have Ellen.
Right.
We also have a picture from MSN.
Right.
So MSN did, what was that? That was a study. Oops.
The comparison, the caffeine, how much caffeine is in stuff. So
MSN did a story about what a 16-ounce cup of coffee, caffeine-wise, was in relation to other caffeinated products.
And you talk about guerrilla marketing and some of the stuff that I've done, and the MSNBC that stick there. I think that the Ellen show. I've been contacted by Huffington Post, the Wall Street Journal recently because caffeine's in the news, and when they talk about the gum and
there's a new one today.
All this stuff. Oh yes, the toothbrush. Yes. But when they talk about all that stuff, they throw us in there, and it's really I feel good about it because I feel like it's a testimony to the work that I've done as a guerrilla marketer, that we're actually in the same league or being compared to the Kellogg's and the Mars and that kind of stuff. So that's really kind of cool.
Very cool. And I want to also talk about Wired Troops.
So
tell us what you're doing for the troops who are on tour or on duty.
Yeah, well, Operation Wired Troops, we send off a caffeinated care package to a forward operating base once a month. So this month it was forward operating base Shindand. I think I said that right. But we just sent off their package about a week ago. It takes about 2 weeks for it to get there. And it's just kind of a cool way, when they send us pictures, looking through all the pictures on our Facebook page, it's really unnerving. I mean, you don't realize it, but these guys are sitting in leather chairs and they're playing video games and they're eating waffles or freezer pops or whatever. And they've got weapons on them. I mean, this is real. This isn't a vacation for them over there. They're working, and it's just kind of just a really simple thing that we feel like we should do. So.
Definitely. Well, that's amazing. And somewhere on your website it noted 10% of your profits go towards organizations?
Yeah, we try to we really try to give back. You know, Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson is I'm a big fan of his, and he talks a lot about global responsibility as a business owner, and so we try to support things that are really grassroots. Like we support water.org. There's a couple other organizations that we support to educate women in third world countries to give them the knowledge and just enough self-image and stuff to be able to dig out of that poverty and to be able to kind of teach them to fish, kind of thing.
Amazing. So is there anything that you want to add to Anne Marie, props to you for asking this. We're in Washington, just kind of outside of Seattle. She wants to know where in Washington you get these.
Hence the one of the things I was talking about, the momentum that we had before Shark Tank, and we kind of stopped getting into stores, and we were going to swinging for the fences, the big box stores and stuff like that, and so all of our small convenience stores and stuff like that kind of sloughed off. So that's kind of one of our big focuses, is to get back into that. So keep an eye out, because they are going to be coming around a lot. Probably Snohomish King County to start off. We've got a plan. We're going to be hitting. We're going to have 100 stores in the next 45 days. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
And for those of you who want them now, if you have a caffeine problem, like some of us do, go to wiredwaffles.com and you can order them there, and you can get the syrup there as well.
Yep.
Can you sell the Eve's apple pie online? Can you ship that? How's that going to work?
I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I don't know that. I know that there was a.
That's tricky.
Yeah, I know that California was able to do online sales, but I thought that there was something in Washington where you could now. So, just one last thing: anybody that does have a caffeine problem that wants to order anything off of our website. If any orders that we get in the next 48 hours, we're going to be donating all the proceeds to Oklahoma and everything that's happened there. So
great.
And if you want to help out with that, you can go to KFOR.com. It's the local Channel 4 station there in Oklahoma, and all the Red Cross and all the different agencies and stuff. There's lots of different ways to
KFOR?
Yes, to help out with everything that's going on there.
Can see it. Okay, so that's KFOR.com. That's the local news for Oklahoma.
Yep.
So that's incredible. So for 48 hours, KFOR.com will get the proceeds from Wired Waffles. So go to wiredwaffles.com. Everybody loves caffeine. And I have to tell you, if you go to our website, I actually did a review of these and a taste test and all that stuff. I won't describe it for you, but it was pretty... I'm not going to use the word I'm thinking of. These are very good. Okay, so...
We'll just say she tested all the flavors.
These are really good, though. Okay, so tell everybody your flavors. This is bacon salt.
So we have the bacon maple flavor.
Okay, so here's bacon. They all look the same, but they're good because they're like basically a Belgian waffle, like what you'd make at home. But and this was a big selling point for women too. Okay, so you get your caffeine and your breakfast in one. Not only that, the waffle is only, where was the calories?
210 calories.
It's only 200 calories. I mean, where are you going to get coffee, breakfast for that amount of calories?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yay.
They're actually, as far as like snacks go, what people eat in the mornings, on the go, these are actually really good for you.
And you were saying, you're like,
yeah.
I can't make these at night because if I ever like ingest anything from any of the ingredients, then I'll be like up all night.
Oh yeah. I've actually posted pictures on our Facebook page where I mix the energy blend, because I mix it myself and send it off to our manufacturer. It's caffeine and B6 and B12 in a ratio, and yeah, I have a gas mask. I usually have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do it, because if I do it any time in the afternoon, I will be up for hours and hours and hours. It's just horrible.
So for those wondering what type of caffeine or whatever is in here, is there different types?
Yeah, there is, and this is the good caffeine. This is the all natural green green coffee extract caffeine that Dr. Oz talks about and everything. So
that's been in the news a lot lately. What was it, Women's Health something just did a big study on there's a new green coffee bean diet where it's like an extract.
Yeah.
So anyways, sorry.
Yeah, so
Green
it's
coffee.
Yeah, so it's a big deal, and there's a lot of different kinds. There's a tea extract, and then there's the pharmaceutical grade, which is synthetic stuff, which is a little bit less expensive, and I think that's probably more commonly used in some of the snacks and drinks and stuff that's out there.
I think Shelly needs to join us. Shelly sounds like a fun person to hang with at night.
Yeah, Shelly, your waffles are on their way, hon.
Okay, so there's bacon salt. What were the other ones there?
We've got cinnamon, chocolate chip,
okay,
and then the original, which is just a sweet sugar.
And they are so good, and they are contrary to what Robert said on Shark Tank. They're really not dry, and in your marketing you say no syrup needed because they are really mushy. You nuke them for like what, 30 seconds or something?
Like 15 seconds in the microwave.
They're so soft and they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to eat this right now because it's 7:30 p.m. and I will literally be up all night. But when we had Barbara Corcoran on the show, we did a giveaway of Wired Waffles, and Jules Taggart of Amp and Pivot won the Wired Waffles, and she got them like at night or something, and she's like, "Oh, I got my Wired Waffles! I'm so excited!" I said, "Jules, do not eat them." I'm tweeting her this, so I was praying that she got the message. I'm like, "Do not eat the Wired Waffles tonight. Save them for the morning." Mm-hmm. So then the next day she tweeted me, and she's like, "Let's just say I got a lot done."
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's really cool because unlike a drink, the caffeine delivered in a food stacked on a carbohydrate, it extends the half-life of the caffeine.
Uh-huh.
So it actually, instead of when you drink and the sugar, the half-life kind of ends quickly, so you kind of crash. This kind of gives you that sustainable energy that goes through the day. It's a more level of energy. So
yeah, there was no crash, and I'm just saying you can eat a couple of them. It's like a couple cups of coffee.
It's like a big giant cup of coffee.
Yeah, and I won't lie, I probably drink 8 cups of coffee a day. So
I have a Wired Waffle and drink 8 cups of coffee a day.
We have problems here. All right, so tell everybody again where we can find you online. If you have anything coming up, where should we keep an eye out for whatever's coming next?
Yeah, the best way to keep track of what we got going on is on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook Wired Waffles. Wired Waffles, and you can find us there on Facebook. Wired Waffles on Twitter.
Okay.
But Facebook's kind of where we usually everything gets focused on. So.
And Roger keeps everyone up to date with all the caffeine related news, and so we can also find you Think Geek, your syrups on Think Geek.
Yep.
And Fab.
We've done a couple deals on Fab.com. Fantastic group to work with. They've done really well for us. But
how do you? I know a lot of people are wondering this really quick. How do you get connected with these big websites that sell massive amounts of product to a niche?
You know, it's funny because Think Geek, they helped me create the syrup because I actually approached them with the Wired Waffles, and they're like, well, the shelf life, it doesn't fit into our business plan. And I'm like, they said, if you had something that was shelf stable and could fit could fit this. And I just kind of made the joke to one of the buyers. I said, so what if I had like a caffeinated syrup? And he said, quote unquote, I would give my life's blood for a caffeinated syrup. And so really
life,
cool,
not wife.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's a cool entrepreneurial story. I came up with the recipe, or I hooked up with these guys in Kansas City, Sticky Stacks Pancakes syrup. Shout out, they're awesome. They make really cool different pancake syrups with like peanut butters and all this cool stuff in them. And asked them about it, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll create it. And so we came up with this idea, and then I went back to Think Geek and said, hey, I've got
Here's
it.
Your shelf.
I've got it. How much do you want? And they're like, okay, well, we'll take 600 bottles. Well, that happened to be the exact amount of the test batch, so that product right there was profitable from day one.
Wow. And it is natural. I mean, ingredients in this syrup, which is caffeinated, 1, 2, 3, 5 ingredients, one being water. I mean, you're not going to find that in a normal syrup.
Yeah.
And it says consume responsibly. So caffeine wise, how much is this in relation to like your waffle? What's in I guess what would be a serving, like a half an ounce or
a serving of that would be 2 tablespoons, and 2 tablespoons is 84 milligrams of caffeine, which is the equivalent of about a 8-ounce can of Red Bull.
So it's safe to combine them.
Sure. Actually, you know what's funny is if you combine them, you're still going to be less caffeine than a 20-ounce cup of Starbucks coffee.
Wow, that's nuts. Okay, so Aunt Ruby, I have to ask this. Are there any plans for a waffle mix so they can make their own?
It is on the drawing board. It is on the drawing board. Not sure when it's
awesome.
going to happen, but we've talked with the manufacturer.
That's
We've got the
cool.
recipe and everything. It's
Good question.
It's just a matter of time and when we want to release it.
Then you could just eat as many waffles as you want all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going a little crazy here. Okay, so check out wiredwaffles.com. Does Eve have a website yet?
On Facebook, we just put it up.
Okay.
Just put Eve's Apple Pie on Facebook. If you do a search for it, and it'll come right up.
So there's Eve's nice apple.
Yes, that is a nice apple. Yeah. That is actually my teeth marks in that apple too. Yeah. So.
Okay, so make sure you go to Wired Waffles. Happy birthday, Amy. So make sure you go to wiredwaffles.com within 48 hours so the profits can go towards Oklahoma to KFOR to help with the Oklahoma natural disaster. And thank you everybody for watching. Check out wiredwaffles.com. You can watch smallbusinessdoitbetter.com on iTunes, YouTube, or on our website. And if you're in iTunes, please leave us a rating because it does make a difference. And thanks everyone for being in the live chat and asking the questions. Thanks Ellen for coming. Thanks Shelly for paying for Ellen's ticket to get here.
Yes.
Very nice of you. And tune in next week, Tuesdays at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern.